time for the Loco Sports Lowdown. Here are your hosts, Justin Jarrett, Wes Kerr, and Max Araj. Hey, Loco sports fans, Justin Jarrett along with Wes Kerr and Marcus Walsh from WHHI-TV. At the outset, Max will be joining us shortly. He's en route back to his own personal studio, so we'll see him in a few minutes, and we'll be around for a little while, so no worries. What's happening, gentlemen? First lowdown, I should say. We
Happy
had a
New Year.
grind last night, but first lowdown at 2025. How everybody have a good New Year? Wes, all well in DC?
I had a great time. Happy New Year to everyone. I have a little fun thing later as part of if we get the video set that I sent Justin. But this was a nice time. I had over in DC. I got to go downtown, watch the fireworks go off at midnight, which was kind of fun. I've never been one to go out for New Year's Eve, but hey, sometimes it can be cool. It's not as elaborate as like Times Square or anything like that. I would not stand around for 12 hours in the cold in New York to see that. But I'm sure there are people who will do that. And
I went to the dispensary once. It was 2014. My brother and sister-in-law, who lived in Florida, they were either in Columbus or Florida at the time. They ended up, and they weren't married at the time, but they came down to celebrate New Year's with us, and we all went to the dispensary. We got dressed up. We did things during the day. We went to the dispensary, and we were there for like an hour. And we were all like, this is way too many people. This is, Old Town Bluffton. It's not like we were anywhere, massive. And there were a ton of people there. So, yeah, we don't really do
amateur
all that
night.
Much. That's right. Night. We went and saw Sam's mom and stepdad and then just relaxed at her place for New Year's. So it was really, really chill. But great to be with them, and of course, great to be with her. She's one of the best gifts that I've ever received in my life. So yeah, happy New Year, everybody! 2025.
Yeah,
man. I told Truman the other day, I was like, man, 2025 is crazy to me. Like when I was a kid, like 2025 was like this weird futuristic time that,
right.
Everything's going to be so different then.
Yeah, it's science fiction kind of
stuff.
It
is, but it's still very weird.
And we're talking just the three of us here. We're talking like 3 different generations.
Yeah.
Because JJ's in his 40s.
2025 was going to be.
I'm in my 30s.
Even in the 2000s, I was growing up. Even in the 2000s, I was growing up. 2025 was certainly a long time from now in the future, and I thought there was going to be, I don't know about flying cars, but definitely felt like there was going to be a lot more.
I would have bet on flying cars by now. I would have bet on it when I was a kid. 2025, I'd have been like, oh yeah, 100%. We'll have those by like 2000. And here's year 2000.
Here's another fun.
You guys probably aren't old enough to remember that Conan bit, but it was great. In the year 2000.
I'm not, I don't think. But at least I didn't see it. Here's another fun fact. I don't know if you guys know this, but I know this, that we're all born in the same month.
Really? All March?
You're born March as well?
March 13th for me.
All right.
In the year 2000, Dick Clark will drop trowel, declaring, want to see a ball drop? Check out these 2 low hangers. That must be a direct quote from
Rest in peace, Dick Clark. Oh, what a guy.
He was a legend.
Oh,
legend.
By the way,
there's a basketball game going on right now.
Okay, you get the basketball.
County and Stratford tied at 21.
Yeah, I got the Duke's Mayo Bowl on the TV.
That's right. That is on Minnesota, Virginia Tech.
Yep. Virginia Tech's kicker just hit a 60-yard field goal to end the half. And by the way, we had some news regarding Virginia Tech that we will.
Speaking of Virginia Tech,
big news.
Yes.
So Carnell Warren took a break from the Bluffton basketball team. He missed 1 game, and they won it without him. We'll get to that in a little bit. But he took a break for a good reason, because he went to play in the Under Armour All-American game down in DeLand, Florida. And while he was there, he made his commitment official. He is committed to Virginia Tech, And that was, it's funny because I had just texted with our friends Rob Benson and Coach Fish earlier in the day, and we were talking about Bluffton having a tough game against Cathedral, and I said, and they'll be without Carnell because he's down at the All-American game. And Rob, I guess, wasn't quite aware of how big of a football recruit he was. It was like, oh, wow, really? And I said, yeah, I mean, it sounds like he's going to Virginia Tech. It seems like that's the way it's trending. And then later in the day, he made that commitment. And I'll be honest, I kind of suspected it was going to go that way because I saw when he took his official up there, like the whole family had bookstore T-shirts. Ooh. And that was telling to me that something was going on there more
bookstore items.
Like when the whole family went through the bookstore and got T-shirts, it was like, okay, something's going on there.
I happen to be wearing my alma mater garb as well right now.
There you go.
Ashland University windbreaker.
Kevin Libby thinks you're looking swaggy, and I must agree. That shirt, quite swaggy.
Yeah, little Hawaiian get up with the Ashland windbreaker.
Island January.
Long sleeve undershirt just in case it get a little chilly.
Yeah, it's getting a little chilly in here.
Got the beard done up
interesting.
Right. This
and Carnell, by the way,
January starts, it'll start actually getting cold. Although Monday is supposed to be up in the mid-60s, so you never.
You never know, right? Like you got to check every morning when you get up and see how cold am I going to be today, and for how long. Because some days it's like when you get up, but it's 65 by midday. So.
It was snowing in the airport today as I left to Washington.
I saw my sister-in-law up in Alexandria sent some pictures of quite a snowfall that happened. Sounds like right after you got out of town.
I was near there. I was in the Alexandria. They had a big New Year's party.
Yeah, down at the waterfront down there.
Yes.
Yeah, it's beautiful down there. Beautiful in Old Town Alexandria.
Yep.
But yeah, so you got away just in time, sounds like. Yes. But with regard to Carnell's commitment to Virginia Tech, I think it's interesting. Obviously, he's still got another year. There's no rush to commit necessarily. But he, I listened to a little bit of his interview on ESPN, and we're going to get Carnell, by the way. I think he's going to come on Monday night. That's the plan. Nice. He wants to join us as soon as he's able. He was on a flight at 8 a.m. this morning to get back home and then get up to Myrtle Beach, up to Waccamaw for the basketball tournament. So he was on a quick turnaround to try to get back with the team, and they got another good win tonight. So they're in the championship game. But, it's interesting to me that he's committing so early, especially during this, uncertain time, as far as what recruiting is going to look like.
I think the whole transfer portal schedule is really interesting because we still have the playoff going on. And even the last few weeks, we've seen players enter the transfer portal while the season hasn't finished up yet. So the timing's really interesting. Now, is there another signing day? I remember for years it was the first week of February.
And I believe it still is.
Okay, because there's an early. I know there's an early sign day in December.
Well, there's so many.
Yeah,
now
it's hard to keep track because it used to be the one in February was when everybody signed.
The big one is February 5th is going to be the big one.
Yeah,
and that's when you'll see the
winter signing day is we'll have all the winter signings during that time.
Yep. But yeah, there's a lot of different. It depends for the sport too.
Yeah.
Let's see. I don't know. There's a lot going on here. Never mind.
Yeah.
I thought I might get a quick answer, but I didn't. But yeah, he was on. Yes, he was. Yes, he was on the. He was on ESPN2 yesterday. I didn't get to watch it, but he was there. And look who's here. Mad Max Araj has joined us. Mad Max.
Max, how you feeling, buddy?
I feel good.
Feeling better?
Yeah, I got the cough for the next 3 weeks, but I'm feeling better than I did before. So
you sound a lot better.
Awesome.
Yeah, you do.
That's great to hear.
Yeah,
sound better than Coach Powell sounded yesterday on the Loco grind. He sounded a little rough, but
I saw that. Yeah. But
the coffin plus 2 days of hollering at the wrestlers and the refs had him worked up. But
yeah, it's going around.
Yeah, it is.
Right.
But yeah, I think it's interesting that we were just talking about Carnell Warren committing to Virginia Tech and kind of getting ahead of it, doing it pretty early. I think there's a real urgency among the high school kids, and I look forward to kind of asking Carnell about this. But when you have an opportunity, like, you want to let them know, count on me. Don't fill my spot in that portal. I'm coming. And so I sense that, and I want to ask Carnell about that. But I feel like D1 out of high school is about to become like a different level of status, right? Like, there's going to be more guys who have to go other routes, and they're D1 players, and we know that, but they have to go a different path. And so I think D1 out of high school has become it's going to become kind of a status symbol and a badge that they wanted you enough to take you straight out of high school. So congrats to him, and I look forward to talking to him about it. But any thoughts on that beyond what we said?
Just a huge deal.
I think he's going to be great at the next level. Virginia Tech does a great job getting some major athletes. They've obviously had great coaches going back certainly to Frank Beamer. And I think that environment is going to be one of a kind. It always is. Enter Sandman always plays before you go in for the big games against like Miami, Florida State. I mean, it plays at all home games, but you think of the great ACC games. I mean, it's going to be great for him. And I really think, especially with the way the ACC looks, that, give it a year or two and Virginia Tech might be back on the map there in the Atlantic Coastal.
Yeah. For sure. I mean, they beat Miami this year and got cheated. Remember that?
They are.
That's right. We watched it.
We were on during a football recap show one night, and
Yeah. So last Bluffton player to go D1. I mean, that's kind of tricky. Do you count FCS versus FBS? Because Jeremiah Curry just last year is at East Tennessee State, which is D1. It's FCS, but it's still D1. There's been guys go to other places like Rakim White's at South Carolina State, and Jalen Linder was at South Carolina State.
It's rare to see just around the Loco in general. We've seen some guys do it,
especially Power 5. I mean, Power 5 is that's a different level,
right? So remind me where did Curry go last year?
East Tennessee State, ETSU.
Okay.
Yeah, like FBS Power 5. I mean, that's we're Power 4 really now in today's
exactly
landscape. That's a huge deal.
It's going to be great for him to be at Virginia Tech. I mean, Marcus is right. That's a football program that's back on the rise. They're getting there. They're a program that looked really good this year at times, and then there were times where they didn't look great. I mean, I watched a lot of their games.
They're playing tonight, Max.
They're working through it.
They
are playing tonight.
They're
playing for all the Mayo.
And Minnesota.
They are. The Mayo.
Unfortunately, they're trailing.
All the Mayo in Charlotte.
The one bowl game that if I'm a head coach, I don't want to win because I don't want to get mayonnaise dumped all over me.
Yep.
I'm
Shane
sorry.
Beamer will tell you that. Shane Beamer
that's true. I don't want to do that again. I actually went to that game.
And that game was really the turning point of that program for South Carolina after Beamer won that Mayo Bowl. They have been on the rise ever since, and of course knocked off Clemson in the Palmetto Bowl this year, and another strong season. So those bowl games can really build momentum of a team, and so it's important to win those, even if it does mean getting your face splattered with mayonnaise. But that's why we love college.
Right.
But
I'm more of a turning point fudge kind of guy.
Yeah,
myself,
I can get
rather
down with
than
that.
Duke's Mayo.
Now, if they had a Jif honey roasted peanut butter bowl, you could
Heinz relish. I'd be okay with that too. Heinz ketchup.
How about a Nutella bowl? I'll do a Nutella bowl. I'm totally down with getting dunked with.
As long as I don't have to eat it. Not a big hazelnut fan.
Yeah, I like Nutella, but I don't like hazelnuts.
Not a big Nutella.
Hazelnuts are gross. The flavor's
not a fan.
I'm going to go into Texas definitely with seismic to this area.
Right.
That
without question, Kev, you're absolutely right.
This Hilton Head program you're really starting to see something. BJ Payne, Puna was the talk of the town for a while. I mean, it was he was like racking up big time offers and big time offers. There was no doubt that he was going to go Division I if he stayed healthy and everything went according to plan. And then, of course, he wasn't going to Louisville, but then Charlie Strong went to Texas and then ended up with the Longhorns and had a terrific career there and on his way to the NFL. So, of course, Jalen Sneed making his way to Notre Dame. So there have been some big name guys signing. Recently, Sneed was a big one, and you had
Gaston Moore to UCF, and then eventually the
Kaplan as well. So
Cole DeMarzo went to Michigan
State. Yep. So there are a good amount, and I think Puna paved the way for that in a sense, especially for that Hilton Head program to see those guys following after him. But it's great to see it because you start to see the when one guy gets recruited from the school, it kind of paves the way for others. You see recruiters dip into the area more, and so that's exactly what you want to see. If you're,
Puna certainly started the process for Hilton Head. After that, BJ Payne was able to get, but it really started before Puna, even though, like Michael Julian and that crew of guys that went to Marshall. And he started sending some guys off, and they were as advertised. Right. And so then you develop a reputation as, hey, when this guy tells you he's got a guy, he's got a guy. And so then Puna, he puts it on a different level. And now you've seen over the last few years, his best player goes somewhere most years, and sometimes more than that. And so Puna really did pave the way there. And then you look at Whale Branch, which is the other place that has had, extended success of sending guys to the next level. And it starts with D. Delaney, and he goes and he's the real deal at the Citadel, and then the real deal at Miami. And so then Niles Pinckney, it's a lot easier to get him recruited because, we had a guy come out here a couple of years ago. He's playing in the ACC now. And so Niles goes to Clemson, and then it's, Nick Pringle even crossing over sports, and there gets to be a reputation that you know what you're doing.
And now you got Hampton County football that's got some players that will eventually be going to some of those big time schools, including Jalen Singletary, Agent Zero. I'm excited to see where he ends up committing for school as well.
That's going to be exciting to see.
Yeah, it's going to be great
for a Hurricanes program that made its mark last year, and a lot of those guys like Mandrell Sanders and Singletary have continued that trend and making Hampton County, which should be a strong perennial school for football. And it's fantastic to really continue to see their prowess over there on the field, and a great coaching staff. And that's what it really takes. You got to have a dedicated coaching staff to develop those players. Like, obviously, you get the talent has to be there. You got to work hard, and you got to put in that extra effort every time you get out the gym or anytime you get out to the field. But you got to have a dedicated coaching staff. And of course, BJ Payne has been the prime example, but there have been others. And for a program like Bluffton, Hayden Gregory was a fantastic hire. He's done some tremendous things over there, has really revitalized the football program, which, before it has been, they had some guys. Lee Kirkland was a guy, and he was a guy at the college level too. It's a different circumstance if he was playing at Pikeville, but he showed out. So, different kind of situation there, but still, this Bluffton program, we haven't seen that level of guys going to big time schools at the college level. But with a guy like Carnell going there, it kind of sets the tone for, this. You can get there from a school like Bluffton, you can get there from a school like May River, you can get there from a school like Whale Branch, and that's from a from a 1A, now 2A school over here in the South Carolina Low Country. That's pretty special. That's pretty special to see the framework that's been built over there at Seabrook, and so many guys have made just tremendous examples of the Whale Branch mantra. What it takes.
And there's more coming. Irv Mulligan is knocking down the door. He's going to be in the NFL draft, and I think he's got a real shot. They say the knock on him is the same thing they've always said, which is he doesn't have breakaway speed, but I haven't seen many people run him down either. At any level, and so I don't know. That's what they say about everybody, right?
Yeah.
That's always the thing. Well, he's only runs a 4.5 or whatever, and it's like, just watch him, man. Like nobody can tackle the man. What do you want from him? So we'll see what happens with him. But then there's more coming. Big Tots.
Yep.
He's bigger than Xavier Chaplin. Xavier Chaplin is
he's not as big as he once was, but he's still pretty dang big.
Right, Big Tots was once over 400, and he's slimmed way down, but he's still
quite a bit. I think he's about 320, 330 right now.
Wow.
Yeah, they feel like he's not quite as athletic as Xavier was at this stage, and so that's kind of why he's SC State rather than Power 5. But he thought about going the JUCO route and proving he could do it, and he's committed to SC State, but he's still got a little time, and I think he could end up somewhere bigger and better. They get him on the training table in the weight room and keep coaching him up. I mean, he's only played essentially 2 years of high school football.
Wow.
Yeah, like
wild.
He got hurt and missed like most of 2 seasons. So he's really only played 2 seasons of football. So he's got great potential. They keep churning him out over there.
And there's
but it's because those kids work. They put the work in front of the kids, and they do it. They do the work.
It's because of who they have at the top. We talk about it so much in various amount of different sports. You play for Jerry Hatcher, you better be ready to go to work because he's going to work.
Yeah,
he's going to work. You
I
hard.
think it goes past that, though. I mean, I think it starts with him certainly, but I think the work they do in the off season, a lot of it is they're doing it on their own. They're working with assistant coaches, with Casser Middleton, because Casser can work with up to X number of players at a time in the off season and not be in violation, So he does sessions with them, training sessions, and they just work all year round.
They all go to those college camps as well.
They do, and most of them run track, and that's
right.
a great way to keep training. You want to get faster, you want to develop breakaway speed, get on the dang track and develop fast twitch muscles.
And a lot of those football players are on the track team in the spring, and
most of them.
Yeah, I mean, you see all these
either running or you're throwing
for track and field.
You're right on, Kev.
Yeah,
I'm excited to see where other players around this area go in terms of their football careers that are still either going into their junior or their senior year and haven't had a commitment yet. Like Reed McCollum is one of those guys. That quarterback. Yep. Oh my God.
Cheese tots. I do love cheese.
Oh, Blaine, that's perfect.
Reed McCollum's a player I'm intrigued to see.
I woke up feeling cheesy, Coach. Sorry, Max. You're talking about Reed McCollum.
No, that's fine.
I had to say, I woke up feeling cheesy, Coach.
Cheese.
That was
funny. They keep playing that ad every year. I think they played the last 5-6 years or so. But
that commercial is never going away. Just know.
Heavy rotation right now. I've been seeing it so
commercial
much.
Ain't never going away. That's been there for a solid 6-7 years now.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was going to say, there are other players in this area that I'm really intrigued to see if they decide to go on a football career, where they end up committing. Reed McCollum is another player I was thinking about when we were talking about this and thinking, where does he end up going? Where is he going to play his next steps? Because I know he wants to play football at the next level. You can see it in his face whenever he steps onto that football field. So
they're grooming him for that. And
there are a lot of football players in this area that I'm really excited to see where they end up playing at the next level. So
there's a bunch of seniors that I'm hoping find their opportunity. Troy Temko being probably the foremost among them. I just really feel like that guy needs an opportunity to keep playing and see what he can develop into. There's a lot of guys. Evan Wilder on that offensive line for Hilton Head. I think he's got a great shot to play somewhere. But there's a lot of guys that probably could play somewhere, but will they get connected with that place? Will it all line up? And sometimes it doesn't, but I sure hope Timko finds a spot because I think he can help somebody at some level.
Oh yes, absolutely.
No question.
I mean, I could see him being like a D2 All-American type guy, or I think of Schrader at Mizzou last year, who came from a D2 and just dominated. I could see him being a guy who goes to JUCO for 2 years and then somewhere for 2 more years, and then he's a 22-year-old grown man with 2 years of eligibility, and he comes in somewhere. And
yeah, you're absolutely right. The best part is you go the JUCO route, you don't lose eligibility, which is great.
I mean, assuming that ruling holds up, there's
I hope it does.
But I think it's going to, and then I think it's going to go beyond that. I really do.
Yeah.
But no, that's true. Buford is definitely outpacing Jasper, but Buford also has a lot more high schools than Jasper.
Yeah, Jasper County has.
I mean, one. Up until this year, we've only had one varsity sports program in Jasper, and we've had some kids go on from there.
Get there.
Jonathan Orr went on and played offensive line at a couple of different places. I don't know if he's still playing.
You'll see the soccer players commit out of that.
Yes.
Jasper
for
County
sure.
area.
And there's one right now playing at Columbia College.
That's cool.
Who played. So there's kids from Jasper who are out there doing the thing. Maybe not as many, but it's a smaller scale too. Fewer kids from Jasper. But we're about to work on that. We're about to work on it. We're working on it as we speak, but it's coming. We're coming in the Ville. But hey, let's shout out some sponsors. We got the presenting sponsor of the LowcoSports Lowdown and our all-star sponsor, Mickelson Law Firm. They've been with us since the beginning back in 2017 and still supporting us today. They can help you with all your legal needs. They're our official real estate closing attorney and presenting sponsor of our Hilton Head Christian Academy coverage. But they can help you with anything, right? In downtown Bluffton, Mickelson Law Firm, our all-star sponsor and presenting sponsor of the LowcoSports Lowdown. I kept talking to you guys about the Bluffton basketball team, but we didn't really get into what we were talking about. They're playing in the Waccamaw tournament the last 2 days.
Yeah.
They have gone 2-0. They're off to a great start. They beat Cathedral 73-67 on Thursday without Carnell, which I thought was a really, really good win.
That's a solid Cathedral team too.
Really solid. And then they played Wilson Hall today, another tough Skeeza team, and beat them 62-55 in another good game. So that puts them in the championship game against it'll be either Waccamaw, the host, or PD Academy. They're playing now as we speak, I believe. So, yeah.
I plan to see Wilson Hall against.
This Bluffton team has been busy. We just had the Bobcat Classic wrapped up where Bobcat boys got it done there, and now they're back at it. So they're certainly going to be they're certainly battle tested. They've played some solid teams.
Exactly what I was going to say.
You just wonder what I think they'll be fine. They've certainly been busy. So can you carry this momentum into when the games really start to matter even more in the coming weeks? I think they're in a great spot, especially by the way that they're able to get contributions just besides from a guy like Carnell Warren. But Harry Skinner, who was the MVP of the Bobcat Classic, he is where the offense has ran through. He has been lighting up 3-point shots, and he has just been so slick handling the ball, and he's been able to just have his way at the rim for the most part from the games that I've seen him play. I mean, such an important part of what makes this Bobcat offense even more lethal to defend, having a guy like Skinner in there. That has really changed the entire complexity of what we're seeing with Bluffton's offense this year. And then Jamari Stewart Manning to just has gotten even better from what he was last year.
Yeah.
So this team is they're using this part of the season to gel as a group. They're a ton of fun to watch, and this is they had a great start, but it can be derailed in a few games if you don't get the right mindset. You get that right mindset, because it all really starts to college basketball. I say it like conference play is really when it starts to really matter once you get to January. Now the entire season does, but like high school basketball, similar way. I mean, once you get this time of the year, this is when you got to start to be on your best plan.
This is when it counts. This is when it determines what happens with your season.
Right.
I will say this. But I will say this.
I did cut some highlights from the Cathedral game yesterday.
They're making a statement to stay as our number one team in power rankings.
They are.
Well, I mean,
tight. Even with the win over,
no question.
I think Prep is right there, but I think Bluffton they're holding on to that. I mean, they're anchoring their spot right now so far in this number one.
Yeah,
this number one
I agree.
The one thing I'll say, the one thing I'll say about this Bluffton team is, I think they're going to be okay, even when region play gets. Oh my God, Brandon White, man. When they get to region play, conference play, whatever. I think they're going to be okay, because I think the other thing that people don't realize is they have some depth too coming off the bench.
They do, and I was going to say, we haven't really talked about him at all yet this season, but Malcolm Gordon stepped up and was huge in this game yesterday. There's a lot. Malcolm Gordon really stepped in for Carnell and played really well.
Brandon White is my favorite player. I love
He's
Brandon
fun.
Put that down.
So much fun. He is my favorite player, man. We got to get him on.
Jerome.
The fact
he's pretty fun.
The fact they picked him up from May River is just what a great. What a
chef's
great,
kiss, right? It's kind
player
of chef's
to
kiss.
Yeah.
Libby, what do they call the puffy haircut, Harry Styles? I call it the floof. That's my son's got a bit of a floof right now. I call it the floof.
Tell you what, guys, I'm looking forward to again seeing JP2. I'm going to see the JP2 girls and guys on
Wilson Hall,
Tuesday against Wilson Hall. I've heard nothing but really good things out of Wilson Hall. Have a couple of very reliable sources, one being Wayne Morris, the guy who hired me at WHHI back in the day. He's got family that goes to Wilson Hall, and he was telling me a couple of weeks ago about what they end up doing there and what they've done with their basketball programs. And I'm looking forward to seeing the Hilton Head girls for the first time. I'm going to scout them tomorrow against Savannah Country Day.
Yeah,
at Hilton Head at 2:00. Looking forward to seeing that. May catch the guys, but I think I'll have other plans going on.
Yeah, Country Day,
this game, but
that'll be a good litmus test to see where they are. Savannah Country Day is historically a pretty solid team. I will be over at the Cove, USCB, with their Peach Bell opener against Clayton State, tipping off at 1:30 for the girls, and the guys following after. So it should be a great day over there. It's been a while. It's been like a month since they had a home game, so it's finally be nice to head back there.
And ages.
Yeah,
it feels like a whole new season. It's been.
Who are you doing those games with tomorrow, JJ?
I believe Robbie will be there for the girls' game, and then Rich Basirico is on the guys' game.
That last play, by the way, Brandon White
was
had
nice.
a behind the back dunk, man. That was crazy.
That was crazy.
He's my favorite player. I'm so glad he's getting to play for Bluffton.
I did scrub through the second half today, and I didn't see as many flashy plays, but I saw them playing really solid defense and hitting open shots, which was actually kind of refreshing to see. Let's not get too cute if we don't have a little cushion. They played to win the game, and I like to see that. I think they got a real shot to win this tournament, regardless of who they play. So, and they're looking more and more. I mean, they've gone back to work. They've gotten better in the last couple of games. So,
and they're doing all of this.
Their movement on offense is great right now.
They're doing all of this without Carnell Warren for basically an entire tournament.
Yeah, I didn't see Carnell out there much when I was scrubbing today. I don't know whether he played today or not. He told me last night he was on a flight at 8 a.m. getting back and then heading up to Myrtle Beach, and they played at 5. So that was going to be a quick turn.
So he'll probably be ready to go for their game tomorrow. So it'll be good to see
plus
him
he
back on
played a football game the day before.
He did play a football game, yeah.
It's not normal to go play basketball the next day.
He had some good moments too. I know he had a couple catches here and there. So
he's
so really, really cool to see him playing the Under Armour. What is it? Next All-American or whatever?
I don't know.
I don't know what it's called, but televised on national TV that's pretty cool. So,
couple other scores tonight that have been scrolling well. Last night, first, USCB men dropped one to Fayetteville State, 85-63 on the road. It was like a 7-point game at half, and they just didn't shoot the ball well in the second half. So hopefully they can get it going on offense tomorrow. And then tonight, some high school games, a bunch of them got wiped off the schedule. So That happens sometimes during the break. It's like, hey, do you guys want to play?
We need another couple days.
Not really. Yeah, us either. Okay.
It's a weird transition
or
period.
like, hey, we don't have any bus drivers. I mean, that kind of stuff's real too. Ashley Ridge and Buford did play, though. Ashley Ridge winning big in both 87-39 on the girls' side. Their girls are really, 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 really good.
That's a really good girls team. However, Buford has not played in a while.
No, they haven't.
Yeah, they really
That's
haven't.
true.
And then boys, 86-60, Ashley Ridge. Stratford girls blew out Colleton 80-49. Guys are playing now. Bluffton beat Wilson Hall, mentioned it, 62-55. And I'm looking for a Hilton Head Christian score against Savannah Country Day, if you got one of those. The girls' game got deleted off the schedule, so I think it must have happened.
I don't think that
there it is. 64-50 Savannah Country Day. That's actually not a bad showing.
That's not a bad showing.
Not at all.
How are the Colleton County teams this year? I plan on seeing them against Bluffton on the 14th.
The girls are
Bluffton a little bit closer.
The girls haven't been great. They've been struggling a little bit. The guys are pretty good, but I don't know the status of Amari Sanders, who is one of their best players. And it's tragic. He was initially in critical condition. He was attending, as I understand it, a Sweet 16 party for a classmate, and somebody opened fire on the group, and he took a shot and was hospitalized. And they played a game like 2 days later against Ridgeland and won. But I was shocked, that they had the strength to do that. Now, I haven't heard any bad updates on Amari, so I think he's progressing. But yeah, very scary situation, and just another horrible example of what happens when guns fall into the wrong hands and are not used for good purposes. So praying for Amari and everybody up in Colleton, but their guys are playing right now. They're down 30-21 in the third quarter against Stratford. I think they were tied at 21 at half, so they've come out a little sluggish in the second half, but they got a good squad, and he was a big part of it. So, hopefully he's going to be okay first and foremost, and don't know, getting back on the basketball court would be a major bonus, I would think, but we'll see what occurs. So yeah, didn't mean it to take it on a negative Nelly journey there.
Well, that's what we're about. One Lowco, and
real life is real life. And
we're for it.
Unfortunately, it's
thoughts and prayers to he and his family for sure. Get well soon, young man.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, you hate it. It's really sad, and a lot of our kids, even if they're not involved in that stuff, they're adjacent to it. Just because
they're in
it's
the midst of it, which is hard. The mental side of things is important. The mental health of these kids.
We all are.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely.
And so, you may be friends with somebody who you've been friends with for a long time, but he's also friends with the wrong people, and those people have beef with some other people, and it can get dicey in a hurry. So you just got to be really smart about that kind of stuff. And I'm not saying Amari wasn't even. He's at a party where you think it's safe, and things can go sideways. So I hope our young people use better sense. And don't get involved in that stuff. But let's shift gears. Let's go to a brighter note. Let's talk about our sponsors, our MVP sponsors. We got Base Hit Life, and Max is always repping. He's got the Calm Your Mitts hoodie back on tonight, repping Base Hit Life. He's living his best Base Hit life. Get over there to basehitlife.com and check out all their cool styles, baseball, softball, and much more. And become a fan like Max, and live your best Base Hit life at basehitlife.com. Homegrown home inspections, the best home inspectors in the Lowco, and they'll check out that home, make sure it's good to go. And if you're buying a new home, building a new home, you got to have them check on it every step of the way with their phased inspection and make sure it's built right with Homegrown home inspections. Hospice Care of the Low Country is now one of the many parts of Mirasol Health, where they are providing all kinds of services to our community, like they always have. New name, but still providing the great compassionate care for life's most challenging moments. And USCB's Center for Low Country Hospitality Education has all kinds of great programs to teach you more about the Loco, the place you live and love, and including their ambassador program. So if you want to learn more about the island or Bluffton, so you can tell others about the greatness of the Loco, get with the USCB Center for Low Country Hospitality Education. Beautiful campus on Hilton Head Island. Right,
it's pretty. Great location for it.
It's awesome. Yeah. It's really awesome. I like hanging out there when I get to go down there. Not as much anymore now that I'm at the Ville every day, but used to get to go hang out every now and then and record a show and see my peeps. But we talked a lot earlier about Jalen Sneed and you know, him kind of paving the way. Marcus, you're a big Fighting Irish guy. Sneed made the first tackle last night. Irish really set the tone on defense and dominated that game in a way I really didn't expect.
I did not see it coming either.
I saw it coming. I saw it coming. I'll say why.
I thought they might win, but I didn't think they win like that. But what I'm getting at is this right here that Libby mentioned. Socials blew up today with love of the viral clip of BJ hugging Jay.
I shared it multiple times.
Oh, that's
I got
so
it right
cool.
here for you.
Cool
it's
really
amazing.
Cool.
You see his hand is over his face. Young man is not afraid to show his emotion.
Oh my God,
I have obviously a great connection with BJ Payne, being that we're both originally from the same area in Ohio. I'm a little bit biased, but there's not much, and I'm very biased to all the coaches certainly that I cover. I got to tell you guys, there's not much of a finer guy in terms of what he does with athletics and the community than BJ. He
I couldn't agree
is
more.
just tuned in from phase one. And obviously our connection, he and I kind of ribbed each other because we went to rival high schools. BJ's about at least 10 years older than I am, probably closer to 15. But we went to rival high schools. And when we first met, you know, I told him that I went to Massillon Perry. He told me he went to Massillon, Washington. And we always keep that connection with the 330. It's what we do. And just a hell of a guy. And to see him, you know, coaching up these guys that he's coached in the past, like Jalen Sneed and a bunch of others that we've talked about that have played at big colleges and universities, and what he did obviously with this program that just finished up within the last month or so. It's just so awesome to see. And one of the many reasons that I love and we love doing what we do and that I love doing what I do.
full circle
Class
moment,
act
what was said
and
there.
a full circle moment for sure. Without
that's
question.
what it's all about as a coach, isn't it? Because you're getting these players in these spots, and that's it's extra special for that. You know, the whole family because the whole family, the whole Payne family knew him very well, and they were all just. I mean, as a coach, you have to be so proud of what a guy like what a guy like Snead has done. Just to see a guy with so much potential coming in, and you know, certainly Payne did a lot in you know, helping Jalen get to this position where he had a shot to, and like I said, give credit to Puna Ford for helping pave the way, as I mentioned, and it takes really so many people, and that's the embrace of what happened there at the end of the game when Notre Dame punched their ticket to the CFP semifinals, and to have that just touching moment between head coach and former player.
So awesome.
Yeah.
I have my own experience with that as well. Back when I was in high school, I've told you guys I was the head manager of our basketball program. So that started the second half of the year, my sophomore year, and I did it my junior and senior years. And I followed those guys. I did all of the, you know, responsibilities. We had our own little staff. So I was, you know, the head of the staff, and we all did our things. And our head coach at the time, Rob Toth, who I still talk to once in a while on social media, still checks in with me and whatnot. And I was even thinking last week when I was covering and scouting and taking a look at Bluffton and everybody at the Bobcat Classic, and that picture that you snapped, JJ, on the Friday night with me in my Christmas sweater. I was thinking back to those moments because that's what I did. I mean, I helped the team out and I helped the coaches out and everybody, and I was part of the team. But that's really where I absorbed, following basketball and learning about it. And obviously, it helped with, my ability to do play by play for basketball, color as well, but predominantly play by play because I was totally immersed into it. And so I happen to, think about that a lot because that's really where I got my start. And I get asked all the time out of football and basketball, which one do you like better? And I say, it's really, really close. I think I have to give a slight edge to basketball because of where it all began. And for me, it began at the gym at Perry High School, and
that's what I
doing
would
that
say
for the
as
teams.
well.
Yeah,
But for me, it'd be baseball because that's what I started really doing first.
sure.
And so, kind of had that same thing for me because I was doing that at the Hilton High School. That's why I started doing play-by-play for the first time. And, it wasn't like great at first, but you get a good understanding just by listening to people and listening to guys growing up. Like if you have a passion for it, that's what you do. You listen to a bunch of play-by-play guys growing up, and you start to adapt to personalities from a few of them, and
or you just listen to Harry Carey every day.
Right.
As the kid, because.
Or in my case, Tom Hamilton.
But I would listen to
Guardians games.
I didn't. I listened to Denny Matthews calling Royals games.
That's another good one
on the radio. I listened to every game of the week that was usually Scully or Costas at some point. It was yes, absolutely. And it was baseball for me too, Wes. For me, it was going down to first of all, just like sitting in front of the TV and calling the game.
Oh, of course.
But then, going down to the county ballpark or the town ballpark, and I'd just find a game going on that didn't have a PA announcer. And I'd start doing the PA, which was, a little bit of play-by-play mixed in. And then if the fans started, kind of digging it, I'd get a little more into it.
Why not?
I've done that too. Working in the crowd.
I did that too back in the day.
Nice. They start bringing you tips, and you really start going wild,
Oh yeah, Maybe get you a hot dog or two.
Right. Yeah.
As well.
Well, I mean, sometimes you leave your post and chase down a foul ball for a snow cone.
Yeah, that's always nice when they have those kind of things for the kids.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I remember the big deal. Yeah, if you got a foul ball, you get a free candy bar. Back at the old Low Country Heat days. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, we got to bring that back.
I did grow up listening to Chip Carey and Atlanta Braves baseball games and stuff. Yeah.
Chip.
Awesome voice.
What?
Fisted.
I love Chip.
Chip kind of jumped the shark at some point for me. He was the least of the Careys, to say the least.
Well, sure.
He was no Tom Brenneman.
Still.
No. But he's better than Brandon Gaudin, so I'll just say that.
I love them all. I think they're all great. There's some that drive me crazy, but
they all have good voices.
Jason Benetti is probably my favorite going. Although I love Boog Powell too, but Boog doesn't. He just doesn't, or not Boog Powell, Boog Shambi. Boog just doesn't fit as well on a team broadcast with the Cubs as he does on a national broadcast. He's so good on a national broadcast. The Cubs had the best with Len and JD, and then they let Len get away.
Red Sox just lost the services of Castiglione. Just announced his retirement this at the end of last year. So Lou Merloni, I believe it, alongside trying to remember the other guy's name if it comes to me, but one of the he was there for over I'd say over 40 years. I think Castiglione started in the 80s calling Red Sox games on the radio. So he was there a while.
I just remember when Harry would leave for radio for 3 innings and then come back sloshed. Hi, what's like a song, everybody? I'm on the radio. I remember. Oh man, he would like Sean Dunston would launch one into the crowd, and he'd barely even break telling his story about somebody from, Lincoln, Illinois, who's attending his 713th Cubs game. And you'd be like, Dunston tosses one into the stands, he'll take second. Just barely break stride. And then toward the end, he started saying people's names backwards. He'd be like, Santiago, spelled backwards, is Ogonitas. He'd be like, he loves Santiago and
humor.
He loves
to talk about in a 10-run ball game or whatever. Because at that
it didn't
time,
matter.
You're not going play by play. You're just going like off script.
Yeah. But it didn't matter what the status of the game was. It could be an important part of the game, and if they handed him the read, he was doing the dang read, and it didn't matter. He'd just squeeze it in between. Jeez.
I do agree with this.
That might be. That could be. It's caught in left field.
I forgot about the days of Skip Carey and Pete Van Wieren.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, that's who I grew up.
I wasn't alive. I don't know if I was alive then.
Skip and Joe Simpson and Pete Van Wieren and Don Sutton.
Yep.
Remember them well.
What I was thinking of.
Cubs by day, Braves by night.
Don Sutton was great. I loved
Don Sutton. Was
rest in peace. Don Sutton
didn't hold back.
Great color guy.
He did not hold back. He was tremendous.
And even not a bad play-by-play guy.
No, he was great. All right. Well, it turned into shop talk, boys. I don't know how that happened, but it was fun.
No idea.
But we got some varsity sponsors. We got DDS Web Design. They build, host, and maintain websites. So if you need one, go to ddshhi.com. We have Parker Law Group. They're serving legal needs out in the Lowco frontier, Colleton, Jasper, and Hampton counties. Call on them if you have some legal needs out there. Dr. Ambrose Cole, our official chiropractor of Loco Sports. He's at Rooted Living Wellness in Bluffton, and he'll get you feeling right, mind, body, and spirit. And Reverence Wrestling Club, the official wrestling sponsor of Loco Sports, presenting sponsor of the Loco Grind. And if you're looking for wrestling news and banter, check out last night's Loco Grind. We had a good one. Talked about the Shark Invitational, where May River wound up in fourth in a 34 team field, 36 if you count the B teams. Had some Loco champs, shouted out all them. And we told a cautionary tale. George Dixon and Coach Rutherford from Battery Creek told us about a wrestler who made a bad decision after weigh-in about what to indulge in. He had a Slim Jim chased with a protein shake, and 12 seconds left in the match. He didn't quite make it to the trash can, and they told us the whole tale in gory detail. So there were some good laughs. There's some good laughs involved, but also maybe not while you're eating or right after. But that was toward the end. And you do get warned. There's a mention of seeing his lunch. And if you don't want to hear about that, then just check out at that point. But if you want to hear about it, it's probably the best part of the show, if you want to be honest. It was pretty funny. But no, it was a good time talking wrestling with those guys. And we won't bore you with all the details. But if you want more of that kind of stuff, go check it out. Loco Grind over on Loco Media Network on YouTube.
They talk about the big
no-nos. You're here, you know how to get there. You figure it out.
Yeah. They talk about the big no-nos of what to eat on the Loco Grind.
Well, certainly not milk or dairy products of any kind, and certainly not Slim Jims with dairy products.
I will say this. When I was running cross country, that was like the number one thing you don't do is drink milk before a race.
Milk was a bad choice.
Milk was a bad choice.
That's what I said last night. And when they mentioned the protein shake, I did milk was a bad choice. I'm a glass case of emotion.
Unless you're eating hot wings, milk is usually a bad choice in athletics.
Yeah, and I can't get down with. I'll dip it in blue cheese, but I can't get down with drinking milk with hot. The idea of spicy and
well,
milk.
I'm just saying afterwards to.
I know,
stomach,
but
of course.
It still kind of grosses me out to think about that being in there.
I mean, I drink
spicy.
I
feel like the
milk,
spicy is going to curdle the milk, and there's going to be a problem.
I drink milk, but never after eating something spicy. Never.
No.
Yeah, give me a Coke or something.
I'll stick with water.
Or something stronger.
For sure. So yeah, that's that's about what's happening tonight, boys. But looking ahead to tomorrow, we got some stuff going down.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, Colleton's now down 10. We got some stuff going down tomorrow. We got where's my tab? Of course, USCB basketball. The women at 1:30, the men at 3:30 against Clayton State over at the Cove. Looking forward to that. You can catch me on the Sandtrack Game Day Network on the call, along with, I believe Rob's coming for the girls' game. If not, I'll find somebody else. Coach Basirko will be on the call for the men's game. He'll make his season debut.
Nice.
And we got some high school hoops as well. Hampton County at Battery Creek. I think we got 4 and 5:30 for the start time. Savannah Country Day at Hilton Head. It looks like 2 and 3:30.
That's right.
Bluffton boys in that championship game tomorrow at 8. And May River picked one up, boys game at Benedictine at 5.
That's a nice. Obviously, only a boys game.
Yeah,
there.
I like
But,
that one.
that should be a good one. That's a nice pickup there.
Also,
Yeah, and then a little wrestling too. Whale Branch Warrior Slam duels and the May River duels.
Nice.
What do you got, Matt?
Right back at it.
Course, the Beaufort County Youth Basketball League starts tomorrow as well. So
Let's go.
Yeah, recreation basketball. Yes, I remember those days. I remember playing rec basketball.
Great days watching 4 to 6 year old boys and girls playing basketball.
You'll have to bring us some highlights to the show.
I might just do that. I will do that. I will definitely do that.
That'd be fun. We'll see some future stars. I like it when the little kids play and they all have a lust for the ball, and it doesn't matter what team you're on. They're all just like
for the ball. That's
4 to
great.
6 year old girls and boys basketball is always the most fun to watch. It is so much fun to
man.
watch.
The 50-50 balls are Lord of the Flies. It's craziness. Everybody's after it. And they jack shots from wherever. There's no dribbling. They just run around with it. There's like one kid on each team who can dribble, and the rest just run toward the basket. I love it. It's great. Oh, yeah.
It's going to be great.
Baxter,
great day.
You know I don't speak Spanish. What's that? The whole wheel of cheese?
I'm not even mad. That's really impressive.
I'm not even mad. I'm impressed.
Jeez.
I'm impressed, yeah.
The bad man punted Baxter. Blink twice if you're in Milwaukee.
Ron Burgundy.
I love Ron Burgundy. Love him.
Ron Burgundy.
One of my favorite characters.
Ron Burgundy?
I'm Ron Burgundy? Love him. Just love him. Veronica Corningstone.
We're falling apart.
Rick Tamblin. I love Lamp. I love Lamp.
Getting to Lowco after dark.
Yeah, we're kind of getting into it now.
I love it.
Fun day tomorrow. Fun day tomorrow.
Yeah, no, I'm like I said, just so pumped to get back into the Cove. That's right. It was such I mentioned as one of my top 10 favorite memories of 2024. I expect it to be up there in 2025 as well. And I the guys, the ladies team is still trying to find their way. I think the men's team has big time potential this year in the Peach Belt. You remember how many games they dropped that were close, and I just feel like they have a little more experienced, better team all around. But the Peach Belt, there's no easy game, and I think this Clayton State's going to be a dogfight as we have seen seemingly every game we cover or be a part of over there. So it should be a fun one over at the Cove to get things started. I'm excited to see how the ladies do as well. The women's team, if they can start off strong and build some momentum, and it's been rough. They've had unfortunately some injuries along the way, but I'm excited. I'm excited for Brielle. This is her first taste of conference action, or not Brielle. I am Lydia Gattosi. This is their first taste of conference action. Yep.
Well, and I ran into Coach Versip over at the Bobcat Classic and talked to her a little bit. And they do have some people back and more coming back. They blew out Regent on December 17th, 88-32 on the road, which that one slipped under my radar. That was a mismatch, but Janiyah Hayward came back in that game, and she had 15 points and 10 rebounds and 5 assists and 4 steals. She played 28 minutes. So she is back, and that is tremendous news for them because she's their dog. she's their junkyard dog. She does what has to be done. And then so you put her in there with Lydia, and now you've got a pretty good 1-2 punch. Ellie Lewis also got going and scored 16 in that game. You know, she's one that they probably weren't counting on that much this year, but now she's kind of had to play, and she's kind of grown up pretty quick. And now it looks like she might be able to help a little bit in the second half of the season. Bowman is close, she said. You know, maybe another game or two, and Bostic is close as well. So
Great
you know,
to see.
they're getting close to getting
That's really good.
pretty healthy,
Yeah.
and it could be fun.
Yeah. If they can get rolling as we into February and March, look out. And
At the right time.
especially if you start to see Gattuso really click at the offense and start to knock down some shots. So I still feel like there could be a lot of potential as we get into the period of the season where, as I said, it matters the most. When you're playing this year, you know, you're not postseason eligible. So, you know, the whole goal is to get into the conference tournament and then peak into you know, that tournament in March. So I think that's the goal for both of these teams, and we'll see who can find that spark as it goes on and maybe make a run. So it's a really fun, you know, year two, because, you know, you're not there yet. You're not at that stage of full membership, but you're getting close, and it's a big year to take an important step forward. So it's exciting. I'm really pumped. Conference plays is a blast, especially in this Peach Belt. These games are so entertaining. So how many games I remember last year in both the men's and women's that were just nail biters, like down the stretch?
A bunch.
Yeah.
I mean, the guys seem to go to overtime. It seemed like one or the other went to overtime every night.
A lot.
Just there all day.
And you know, I think both of these are winnable games. The Clayton State's
I believe so
women
too.
are not very strong. You know, they're 3-8. They're 0-1 in the conference. Got blown out by, granted, North Georgia, which is really good. But you know, it's a bottom half of the conference game that you'd think should be winnable. And then Clayton State guys are, you know, they're 6-5, middle of the road type team. So
that's a game.
It could be a good day.
Game you should be able to win at home, especially at home. Like that's one of those games where if you play the way you've been playing, I think you will find a solid opportunity to win. And so this is, you know, we saw them win that for that Augusta game. That was huge to get off in that direction early. And it would be important to get a similar start here and to have that home opener, or, you know, home conference home opener against a team that I think, you know, I definitely think the guys have a solid chance, and I think the ladies kind of have one as well. And it's a great opportunity to get off starting 1-0, getting on the right foot, getting off the right direction. That's so important. So I'm expecting a good effort by both these teams, and you know, I'm not sure when the classes are back in session, but hopefully I'm sure some baseball, softball players might be there as they are starting to get back into preparing for their seasons.
Yeah, true. Well, I hope so, because I want to talk to some of them about maybe helping out with some clinics.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I agree with Wes. Like, I think this is the right time for both teams to step up, you know, and really show what they have in their home, you know, their conference home opener. You know, I think I mentioned on a previous show, I can't remember how long ago it was, but it was, you know, we were talking about the USCB women's team, and, you know, what would be great, you know, if they could get healthy at the right time. Well, it looks like they could potentially be getting healthy at just the right time, you know, and that it could be a huge deal for them, because I think they'll, you know, I don't know how far they'll get within their own conference, because the Peach Belt Conference, again, is no joke. You know, it's always going to be a tough conference to play in, no matter what sport, really. And, you know, I think, you know, they'll be able to compete if they're healthy. You know, I think they'll be able to compete. How far they get, we'll have to see. But I think this is a good sign to finally have somewhat of a healthy women's basketball team, which has been kind of an issue the last season and a half.
Yeah, their first 2 seasons for sure. They've not been dealt the best hand.
They're due to regress to the mean as far as bad luck goes.
And I think in terms of regress to the mean, I think those tight games, I think should regress to the mean of the men's team as well. because they're on the long end of a couple of nail biters.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
This last one kind of got away from them, but still sitting at 8-3. That was, I don't know, that's a tough game. They had a long layoff, and then it's a one-off on the road before conference play right at the start of the year. I mean, I'm sure Fudal is upset, but I think you can count that as an anomaly and not make too much of it, as long as they show up on Saturday and take care of business. So I'm looking forward to that, man. That's gonna be fun. I've been texting Fudala like, I miss you. When are you coming home? I can't wait to see your basketball team play again.
We only had one.
Like, I miss you too, Coach
game for the men's this year. They've been road warriors this year. They have
we got one home game and then one game at Savannah.
Oh yeah, we did. That was partially a home game, but not really. But,
and that was it.
Really.
And, jonesing. So we get to go see them tomorrow, though. All right, boys. Well, we've got our last round of sponsors here. Our Loco Booster Club, Court Lifestyle Pros, Daniel and Debbie Court with Charter One Realty want to bring you home to Hilton Head Island. Eagle Creations out in Argent Boulevard out in Ridgeland / Okatee. They got promotional items and custom apparel and much more out there. Jay's Barbershop will get you looking right with a haircut or a beard trim. Go over downtown Ridgeland, check them out if you need a haircut or just some great conversation. Barefoot Floor Care of the Low Country, get your floors so clean, your feet will thank you. And Hudson Seafood House on the Docks is presenting sponsor of Under the Bus. We were supposed to record today, but Curry had travel issues, so travels more than my goodness. So they're coming back at it either Tuesday or Wednesday. We're working on getting a date. But Hudson Seafood House on the Docks still open. They ain't going nowhere. Great place. And Hurricane Sports Cafe out in Hampton, great spot for food and drink. If you're hungry or thirsty, stop in and say hi. Tell them Loco sent you. Yes, it is Jay's Celebrity Barbershop, where many celebrities of the Loco Media Network, like one time, Tony O'Banner, they get their haircut day. Who else did we say got their haircut day? Somebody else. Oh, Brandon Howard.
Oh, yeah. Butter.
Yes.
Butta's been known.
But by the way, Jay's awesome. We've had him on
great
Local Media Network before. He's fantastic. Knowledgeable guy, though. He knows ball. He knows ball for sure.
He does, and his son is a hammer wrestler.
Yeah.
He's a Thomas Hayward, so people don't hear about him as much, but he goes to Reverence every dang day, it seems like, and he's really strong. Just a freshman, and he's gonna be a good one. So putting in the work. You boys got any parting thoughts for me?
I know Wes
has one.
I have a couple, if you don't mind that I lead off. I was thinking about putting these in when I was talking about BJ Payne and Notre Dame and everything, but first thing I want to do is salute Kevin Libby, who is always on top of the comment section with me and most importantly, you guys. He picked Penn State and Texas on the Marcus Walsh show that we recorded back in December to make it to the national championship game. And by George, he has a shot because Ohio State is playing Texas. Notre Dame is playing Penn State. The crew of Sean McDonough and Greg McElroy will have the Orange Bowl, Notre Dame, Penn State. And the crew of Chris Fowler and Kirk Herbstreit will have the Cotton Bowl between Ohio State and Texas. I'm an Ohio State fan. I am also
I'm all in on
a Notre Dame fan. So I am thinking that this is going to be really interesting. I'm thinking we are going to see Ohio State and Notre Dame, not just for like the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl, which we've been known to see, but I think we're going to see the two favorites win for all the marbles in the national championship game. And I'm telling you guys right now, I have seen Ohio State win multiple national championships in football and get there in basketball. I have yet to see a Notre Dame Fighting Irish national championship. As a matter of fact,
they lost to Alabama back a decade ago. That was a blowout.
That was not good.
Everett Golson.
That was the old BCS natty.
That game was over just after it started. But
what a bigger
the
I
mismatch.
mentioned
last
Everett
time-
Golston, and somewhere Ken
Oof.
Cribb just shrieked in his sleep.
Oh, it was awful. The last time that Notre Dame won a national championship, they played West Virginia on January the 2nd of 1989. I was
Yeah,
in
that's
diapers
Goodness.
back
Major
then.
Harris.
Wow.
So I hadn't seen it. Both my dad's parents, huge Notre Dame Fighting Irish fans. It's watch Notre Dame on Saturday, go to mass on Sunday. And
Yeah.
so that's what I do to continue the tradition.
Well,
And so if we see Notre Dame in the national championship, regardless of who they play, I'm going to be rooting for them. But especially that Notre Dame Ohio State game, if that's what we see,
that would be a
Notre
cool one
Dame by a
for
game-winning
the
field
local
goal
side. I mean,
to
you
end
got
it.
that would be fun because you got the ties with Jalen playing for Notre Dame. Then you got the massive Ohio State fanatics
Contingent,
around the
and
area.
they travel, and Notre Dame
yeah.
fans travel too.
Yes, that would be a fun one just with the.
would
the
there
connection
would there
between-
be anybody left on Hilton Head if those two played in the
Well,
national
Mangiamo's
championship
would-
game?
Oh,
Mangiamo's
would all
I
be
don't
there.
know.
banana.
The Notre Dame club on Hilton Head is enormous.
Oh, yeah,
It's
I've
huge.
been to that thing.
Yep.
It's enormous.
it's huge.
There would be a
They and the
large
Catholic churches are
exodus
going to be
from
nuts.
Hilton Head.
Yes.
Oh,
And
yeah.
all the people who are retired to Hilton Head, who are alums,
By the way,
exactly the kind of people who travel to national championship games.
Oh yeah, I know a few of them, which
By the way,
may
how
not
about
surprise
that,
you guys.
how about that,
Marcus, you got a
Arizona
Lou
State
Holtz
game?
tattoo?
No,
Lou Holt.
I do not.
By the way, wanted to shout out to my guy. Who I don't know if we mentioned this podcast.
That
If
might
not,
be.
yeah. That Arizona State Texas game and that guy Cam Scatterby. What a dog!
Oh.
He is
Phenomenal.
just an insane athlete.
Well, and the
And-
quarterback too.
yeah.
That quarterback made some heroic runs. I mean,
By the way, with
heroic.
by the way, we should mention with
Should've won
Georgia's
that
loss
game.
last night, and I had a feeling this could have potentially happened with the top 4 teams.
Yep.
All the
No
top 4
SEC.
teams who had a bye week are
Oh,
now
yeah.
out of the playoffs after one game.
On.
And I saw
Well, that's
something
'cause
like
they-
this potentially happening.
That's because only Oregon of them was one of the
Yeah,
top
Oregon,
4 teams, really.
yeah.
I guess Georgia towards
Right, Oregon, Georgia. Yeah, I mean, Oregon, Georgia, really the 2 seeds that I guess you may have been
Yeah, but-
surprised that
Yeah,
That
they
was
would have
my
gotten
natty pick.
they would have gotten buys
not
regardless.
really
The other
surprised
two
about
wouldn't
the
have.
other two.
But
It's-
Oregon looked like crap compared
But
to
I
Ohio
mean,
State.
It
Yeah,
goes
they
back
did.
to I would much rather have a first round home game than a bye. I said that
Yeah,
from the
yes.
start. I was like, none of this
Yeah.
makes any sense.
Well,
Yeah.
it's just like
I would
what we
much
see in the
rather have
baseball
a first
playoffs.
round home game
I mean,
than a bye.
kind of different, but
That's exactly what I was going to say, Wes. Yes, absolutely. It's a
Yep.
lot like the baseball playoffs now for Major League Baseball. You get a bye,
Rest
you're in
equals
serious
rust.
trouble. You know, like you're going to be rusty because you've sat for too long. You know,
Rest
and I
equals
just
rust.
saw it kind of coming. Like I could have seen Notre Dame beat Georgia because of the way Notre Dame's been playing as of late. They've been fantastic to watch. But I didn't think they were going to beat Georgia by that much.
Yeah.
And the fact that they
Man.
did told me that Georgia had too long of the time sitting waiting to play a football game. And
I truly
think that's the
believe
same-
that Georgia would have won that game if they just ran out the damn clock at the end of the half.
Yeah,
I really
Agreed.
do. I think they would have gone in and made the adjustments and come out and won the game, but they got themselves
they didn't.
in a bad
Yeah.
spot with that, and
Yeah.
then it snowballed and it was too late.
I
But
think Oregon, on the other hand, Oregon had the same amount of time off compared to Georgia, and they looked like. I mean, Ohio State's playing.
You
You got to
best
give
football.
Ohio State credit.
They are
and
playing their best football this season.
I will say this. I was one of those Ohio State fans, and I've been this way for the last few years, that said, Day's got to go.
Oh yeah, you said
because
it right
he
here.
can't-
I
all
still
over
think
your
he-
I know,
Yeah.
and I said it all over social media. I said it on the
You
Marcus
went
Walsh
all
show.
in on
I said-
him on the Marcus
I
Walsh
said
show.
Day's got to go because he can't win bowl games. He's got an under 500 record against teams in bowl games, and he can't beat Michigan. And people are like, well, give him a shot, blah, 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 blah. Those are two of the biggest games that they have every single year. But now, looking back at it, I said it to multiple people already, and I'll say it here so it's on a media show. I will, eat my crow. I prefer my crow medium. So I will eat my crow, and I
Medium.
will say
I would go
that
well done on crow.
maybe, yeah. I don't know what I'm talking about as far as that goes. I like
But
my
I mean, you do need
red
to get
meat medium.
that crow.
Maybe the
is real
Michigan.
good. Crow
Yeah,
good.
there you go. Maybe the Michigan loss was the best thing to happen for Ohio State because they came out against Tennessee and Oregon and have played like the team that we hadn't seen for the most part all year. But I'll say this, Ryan Day, you better damn well beat Michigan next year, or, you got to beat Michigan sometime.
I still think he has to go.
Guy, Yuma, the Minnesota Golden Gophers are your Duke's Mayo Bowl champions.
Oh, wow.
PJ Fleck getting that mayo. Oh, yeah, he's going to love that.
Oh, yep.
Roll the boat with the mayo.
You know why crows don't get hit by
think,
vehicles around Boston? Because there's always another crow nearby to shout, "Ka, ka."
Marcus, I'm still going to say this. I still think Ryan Day's got to go.
I
know they're playing
natty,
great football. I know they're
don't
playing
know.
great football right now, but what they're doing right now should not outweigh what they have done up to this point in the season. Or
You
at
may
least
not have to worry about it because if he gets if they win a natty, it outweighs it. That's the whole point.
Absolutely, it
but
does.
if they don't,
At the end of
if
the
they
day,
don't, I
right
still think
now,
they should look at it.
right now, it looks like the loss to Michigan's the best thing that ever happened to them.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Woke them up.
That's
ahead
what I
of the
believe.
playoffs. And I mean, in any other year, it would have knocked them out of the playoffs. But this is a different era.
I don't believe in Ryan
deal
Day.
now.
I really don't believe in Ryan Day.
I don't either. But if he wins a national championship, that's the
you can't fire him if he wins a national championship. I'm not saying that he's all of a sudden gone from Ryan Day to Vince Lombardi. I'm just saying you got to give him another year.
Well, because here's the deal: if you fire him after he wins a national championship, and then he goes and works somewhere else,
but fan base is going to go nuts.
Success, and you don't have success. Guess who's looking for a job now, Bubba?
Yeah, right. Agreed. I'm not saying. I'm just saying, even if he does win a natty, then of course you got to keep him. There's no doubt there. You can't just get rid of him. It's like Marshall.
I hear you. Like if they go lay an egg against Texas, then it's gonna the seat will heat up again.
Which I think they could, but with Jeremiah Smith, the way he's been cooking as a receiver, that dude is just an animal.
They may lose to Texas, but I don't think they're laying an egg.
Right. No, I'm just saying, like the only way he can get back on the hot seat is
if they're
down
lose
34 to nothing
Texas
in the first half.
I don't see that happening.
Oregon was.
No, I don't either.
I think they'll beat Texas, if I'm being honest.
Oregon did that, and we didn't see it being that bad, right? Like, we didn't see that Oregon-Ohio State game going the way it did. Like, I thought Ohio State was going to beat Oregon. Like, I thought Oregon could have a shot at beating Ohio State, but, like, I didn't think it was going to go that way. The moment I turned the TV on, it was like 21 to nothing. I was like, well, this game is done and over with.
Yeah,
I was like, what's the point of you watching? Brutal. It's just brutal. But anyway, I do have a couple things to shout out. First off, I'm still very angry at my Atlanta Braves because Charlie Morton has signed a 1-year deal with the Baltimore Orioles. So he is no longer an Atlanta Brave, which stinks because I really love Charlie Morton. I know he's getting up there in age, but I still thought he was a valuable arm to have. The other thing, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, but Jimmy Butler's gotten himself into some trouble.
Oh, doctor.
And apparently it's gotten worse because he has now been suspended for the next 7 games
saw that.
by the Miami Heat and the NBA after his news conference that he had, clearly asking to be traded. And so apparently the Miami Heat are now seeking to trade him after the incident and the situation, and I don't blame him.
Who would want him at this point, in my opinion? I mean,
he's 35. He's a 35-year-old basketball player who people think deserves a max contract, which I don't know. No. And so I don't understand that. The other thing I was going to mention is Victor Wembanyama has played 99 games in his career. And do y'all want to know what the numbers are for him so far through 99 games?
They got to be pretty good
about that.
2,238 points, 1,035 rebounds, 382 assists, 364 blocks, which is nuts. And of those 2,238 points, he's had 221 3-pointers through 99 games in his career.
I'd say that's pretty good. I'd say that's pretty solid.
That's uncharted territory,
especially for a guy who's playing for a team that is starting trying to rebuild themselves, and certainly it was the obvious choice in selecting Wembanyama, but he's living up to the hype of when he went first overall, which happens sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't, but he is showing like he is that potentially generational player. In the NBA for a long time. So
also I have
so if you couldn't do math fast enough for Max while he was talking, or you just like what does that mean? It's 22.6 points per game, 10.5 boards per game, 3.9 assists, 1.2 steals, 3.7 blocks per game.
That's so crazy.
And he makes 2.2 threes per game, 3.3 per game this season. Career 33.7% shooter from three for a guy who's
dog.
What,
7'6"?
What?
Isn't he 7'6" or something like that?
7'3".
7'3".
But still,
that's still really tall. That's still really tall. This dude's an alien. The other thing
he's been eating his Wheaties.
I saw this on social media today, and I thought it was very interesting. There is a team during the Major League Baseball offseason that is at the bottom when it comes to offseason spending, and that would be, of course, the Miami Marlins. Do y'all want to take a guess at how much money they have spent this offseason?
I'm going to say a big fat zero.
Yeah, and Marcus Walsh would be right. It is a big fat zero. They have not spent a single penny this offseason.
Wow.
I love making fun of the Miami Marlins because they do some of the dumbest crap I've ever seen on a baseball franchise. And that might be topping it above everything that they have done as a franchise. I just thought that was hilarious when I saw that on social media today. That they have not spent a single
$0
off-season.
By the way, I have
Derek Jeter needs the money for cars and hair color, and gift bags for visitors.
Stupid is as stupid does, Mrs. Blue.
Yeah, right. Oh gosh,
yikes!
It's just funny. I just thought that was very funny.
All right.
Speaking of the Miami Marlins, I just heard a couple days ago that somehow, beyond all logic, they're going to play an outdoor hockey game at the Miami Marlins stadium. Those are the rumors. Between the Florida Panthers will be part of it because they play in the region near Miami. But that seems any beyond logic to have an outdoor hockey game there. So good luck on pulling that one off.
How do you do
Mariah
that?
Carey ain't walking through that door. You're right,
88 degrees. It's gonna be like
a disaster.
Yeah, guys, it's gonna be a nice chilly 75 degrees outside for our outdoor hockey.
All right,
game.
has anybody gone skating at the Savannah Civic Center rink in the last couple of years?
I'm planning on it.
I feel like that's about what it's gonna be like for the ice in Miami outdoors. Like just chunky and slushy. Just awful.
Balmy 75 degrees.
Just
playing outdoor hockey.
I can hear the commentary already. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the NHL Outdoor Classic. Today,
we're Winter Classic Miami.
Yeah, today's weather is a extremely chilly 75 degrees outside, and it's just I can't even.
Oh, there's a little sand poking through the ice now, Jim.
Anybody want to play in the mud?
Trees are a nice background around the rink,
Well, here's the thing. They'll pull it off, But
Right.
at what expense?
Oh yeah,
How
but
much money are they going
I
to
think that
spend
would
to
be
keep
good.
the ice frozen just so they can play an
yeah,
outdoor
but those
hockey
hockey
game
players,
in Miami?
those hockey players
Who's
are gonna
asking for
sweat.
this? Who's asking for this?
No one. But
There's no
I
market
also
for
have
an
to mention-
outdoor hockey game in Miami.
I also have to mention those hockey players are going to be wearing long sleeve, thick,
Yeah,
athletic
sweaters.
long sleeve sweaters.
And they smell disgusting after they play on
Yeah.
Yes,
ice inside
yes.
where it's cold.
I don't understand. How do you do that? They're
That's
going to
just
have to wear
dumb.
singlets. They're going to
They're
have to
going
wear
to be going down like
basketball
flies
jerseys
because they're
for the hockey
dehydrated.
game.
What a disaster.
It's
Yeah,
just,
it's
just
I
What a-
hate that idea.
yeah,
I can
it's
just
horrible
see it. I can
idea.
just see them now.
definitely out of left field for me.
The Winter
Um,
Classic brought to you by Exxon Mobil punching
Punching
a
a
polar
polar
bear
bear.
repeatedly in the face. What a
I can't. I seriously like. It's gonna
Yep.
be watching them playing hockey while wearing Miami Heat basketball jerseys. I mean, seriously, that's where we're gonna be going
Yeah.
with.
I mean, it's
crying
absolutely
Native American driving the Zamboni.
crazy.
Oh my god!
But I do have another parting
Seminal.
thought
Yeah.
that I came
You do.
across today, and
The video.
yeah, nice little video. Now the age-old question: how long can you go after January 1st and wish someone a Happy New Year? Well, our good friend Larry David is going to give us an answer here. The
Just
outstanding.
make it as
yeah.
copy.
Okay, you want to?
Maybe worth it.
Okay,
Wasn't
It's not playing.
I think I've seen this
Eh.
video.
all right. Oh, I can't hear any sound.
Oh,
I
you
don't
can't.
Okay, well, okay, it's on
Oh
mute.
shoot!
It's on
I
mute. No,
didn't
forget
know
it.
it was muted.
Here we go.
But
hear it
yeah,
now.
Larry.
Hey,
Here we go.
Larry.
Randy.
You got
I
it.
could hear the
I'm a friend of
sound, so I
Susie's.
I know. Yeah.
Happy New Year.
It's a little late, frankly, for the Happy New Year's, you know?
Why? Just happened a couple weeks ago, right?
Yeah, that's too long. That statute of limitations is kind of run out on the New Year's. 3 days. Plenty.
3 days.
There you go.
3 days.
I think I give more than 3 days. I
Yeah,
have to disagree
I'd
with
say at
Larry
least maybe
on 3
5
days.
to 7, and at least a week.
Yeah, but it's like going back to school.
Yeah, see,
on
that's
January
right.
10th or
How
something
about-
like
yeah.
that.
Right.
I think the first time you see like the main characters in your life,
Right.
it's okay to
Yep.
wish a happy new year.
I agree.
But
Right.
if you haven't seen somebody 2 weeks into the new year, they're probably not really a main character
Yeah.
in your life. They're a secondary character, and we don't. Yeah, it's too late for all that. I am with
Extra.
Larry. 2 weeks is too
Yep.
long.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
2
agree.
yeah, 2 weeks is overboard, but I guess it just depends on when I think school is the one exception.
Yeah,
Because if
Or
school
work.
doesn't
Yeah,
start until like
school or
the
work.
10th or 11th
Right.
of January, I mean, I don't
I
see
mean,
any
at
reason-
least it's not someone saying in the first week of February, "Happy New Year." Like
yeah, yeah. That'll
Yeah.
get me to twist my face up like Larry. Like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah.
For that, you say
No.
Happy Super Bowl Sunday.
it's like Heritage,
Yeah.
it's Heritage Week in April, and they're like, "Happy
You're
New
like-
Year, everyone."
Happy Groundhog Day, bro.
By the way, speaking of Larry David, I happened to see the Seinfeld episode, the Merv Griffin show.
Oh yeah,
Arguably my favorite Seinfeld episode of all time.
it's a good one.
So
There's a
funny.
lot of good ones. See, I loved Seinfeld in the time, but then I discovered Curb, and then Curb came along, and I was like, oh, this is like raw Seinfeld. This is for me.
Yes.
I love Curb. Curb's one of my all-time favorite shows, right up there with
Yeah.
Sunny.
Yep.
And I love
am
again,
happy.
I love Seinfeld, but I will say when I go back and watch it now, I much prefer Curb at this point.
No, yeah, agreed.
Curb has
But
a
I
little
won't-
broader.
I won't
cast
say
of
no to watching.
characters, too.
I won't say no to watching every season of Seinfeld on Netflix.
Oh no, and I
Yeah,
still
not at all.
reference. There's a Seinfeld reference for
Seinfeld, there's a,
everything.
yeah, that's a it's a
Yes,
show
this
about
is it.
nothing.
JB Smoove when the blacks came along
Yes.
after Katrina, that was when Curb ascended to a
Oh my
whole
God.
new level. JB Smoove, Larry and Leon are the ultimate duo for me. They are just
Yeah.
the greatest together. They're so funny. I
Yeah.
love them so much. But I agree with Larry. 2 weeks too long. But you can still say it on Monday, as far as I'm concerned, or the first day back to school. And
By the way, it will never get old to me seeing Larry David play Bernie Sanders on Saturday Night Live.
oh, so good.
Oh man,
Didn't have to do much. He was pretty much playing
Oh,
himself.
no,
That
he
was
is.
pretty easy
Yeah.
for him.
It is so funny.
That was pretty easy.
Anyway,
Yeah, Jeff Garland's great in that. Susie, oh my God, Susie's so funny. Susie's the greatest.
we're getting
and
so excited.
also Ted Danson, very good
Yeah.
on the show.
Yes.
But- and also good on Man on the Inside. That's a good one.
I've
show.
not seen that.
Ooh, you know what I'm watching right now? That's phenomenal. The Day of the
Oh, boy.
Jackal.
ooh, I've never heard of that one.
If you have not watched The Day
I'm
of the
intrigued.
Jackal on Peacock,
I am intrigued for sure.
I
oh
haven't
my
seen that one.
goodness.
I'll have to watch it.
Yeah, it's a hitman show. It's phenomenal. It's one of the best I've seen in a minute. It's really, really good.
That's cool.
I guess that's my parting thought. Watch Day of the Jackal. I'm gonna go finish episode 6 or 7, I think, after this. So
Oh yeah.
all right, boys. Great show tonight. Enjoyed it.
Yeah.
We did report a little bit of news, and then we got off the rails a few times. But
Yeah,
it's
we
all
did.
good. I think the off the rails is where the
It's Friday night.
Yeah,
I think off the rails is where
Friday
the
night. Yeah.
So we will be back. I think we're doing the Soundtrack Rewind Sunday night because we got
Sunday,
games
and
tomorrow, and then Monday night we'll Loco
yeah,
Sports
getting
Lowdown.
back into it with region play starting up in hoops.
Yep.
Which should be wrestling getting going, and
And we're planning to
they
have
were
Parnell
about
Warren.
to they were about
on
to
that.
dump the mail on Coach PJ.
Oh yeah, the
Oh, yeah.
mail's getting dumped.
PJ Fleck about to
Yeah,
get dumped with the mail.
mayo. Big
Oh,
old
he's gonna
cooler
look
of
funny.
mayo.
He's gonna look funny in mayo too. PJ.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Throw that boat in that
Bald head,
mayonnaise.
it's just gonna roll right off.
Yeah.
Oh God,
Gross.
I hate mayo.
Mayonnaise was a bad choice.
I
Yeah.
hate mayonnaise.
On that note, thanks so much to all of our sponsors, especially the OGs, the All-Stars, Mickelson Law Firm. Thanks to everybody who showed up to listen or watch. Thanks to our loyal commenters. We had the Libs and Blaine Rayleigh both lighting us up tonight. We appreciate you boys always tuning in and keep spreading the word. We want more people to tune in and check out the Loco Sports Lowdown so they know what's going on with all these teams and athletes around the Loco, and they get to hear whatever other nonsense we talk about. But we'll be back Sunday night, Soundtrack Rewind. Bracken, Lambert, Wes, me, probably Donald. He's a main character now, talking about the Sand Sharks. And then Monday night, Loco Sports Lowdown. You don't know who will show up, but we're planning to have Carnell Warren. So be sure to check us out, 9:30 p.m. Till then, for Max Araj, Wes Kerr, and Marcus Walsh, I'm Justin Jarrett. Go Loco. The Loco Sports Lowdown podcast is a production of Loco Media LLC and LowcoSports.com, an independent media outlet providing grassroots local sports coverage in the South Carolina Lowcountry. We are sustained by community support from sponsors and patrons like you. Get in the game with a monthly pledge of $1 or more at patreon.com/LocoSports to keep us going and growing. Go